when we first met Richmond, I don't know whether he was just a reporter or something, and most of the events in Nigeria and abroad that have her being herself, because when she sent me the invite, it conflicted with my program. I was going to Abuja for NOG, and each time I go for a trip, I try to use it to do so many other things. So I sent her a text on the 9th. Our event is on the 10th. So I said, she says, you don't have a choice. And I said, yes, Iru, I can't have a choice for anything that pertains to stars. Because stars represents, for me and for Nigeria, the anchor, the North Star for local capacity development in the marine sector. I remember that when I see 40 years for stars, my own timing for stars, my relationship with stars is 20 years. Because when I started the journey within NMPC, and Kuboloku, the GMD at that time, asked me to identify leading lights in the industry, and that they will guide me, because there is no school to read about Nigerian content. It's not geology, it's not engineering, it's knowledge sharing. And Kuboloku said to me, find the captains, the people who are passionate and knowledgeable. And when I picked my phone and called Greg Oberfo came up severally and serially. So I invited him. And you know, when the first time you meet him, he will come across as arrogant, as domineering. But with time, you know, it's just his posture. So he became my guide for the maritime sector. And we set up a consultative forum. And he was the chairman. He led that team for us. And things that were possible. I remember Star's vision. Greg could not understand why we would not have a big shipbuilding facility in Nigeria. And he had it on his desk, a model of what a shipyard should be. And I must say that a lot of his vision has been actualized, but there's still a gap that Iru must work on. That gap is to create that shipyard. It has to be, what I mean by a shipyard, the type Greg had in mind. So you have a lot of work to do. Okay, so I think that today, I don't want to take too much of your time, but it's important to say these things so that we can create people that will see that things are possible. Some of the things that Greg was saying, that I remember the first day I went to his yard, I took all the IOCs and we went to see his yard. And you know how the IOCs were at that time. Now, a lot of things have changed. But then, I remember it's very dramatic and it's ingrained in my memory, and it helped me to address some of those issues. So we took a tour of the whole yard. And when we went into the conference room, the discussion started. And I think one of the IOC guys, not a Nigerian of course, started commenting on one thing here, one thing there, one loose thing here. And Greg just blew it. So look, I brought you to see all the work we're doing and see all the work, and what you're saying is to tell me that one boat is, no. So, and I took that lesson, that in capacity building, what we should focus on is, what are the gaps and how do we bridge it? Not to say that because of A, B, and C, we are not going to use a Nigerian thing. So, Greg, your work has spoken for you. Look at your hall. In many of these events, if the governor or the minister or the president is not coming, you have only a front row. Today, in spite of the distraction of the NOG, we have a good representation of the oil and gas industry here. And we should all please continue to support companies like this. There are so many companies that are exemplary that we need to support. And then I moved to Eru. The first time I met Eru, I was about the time I was leaving. I said, oh, Greg is doing right. He's bringing a trainee to come and learn the ropes and all that. But a few hours later, when I engaged her, I found out she was not a trainee, that she was actually very ready and strong and very, very, very active in the industry. So Eru, like I said before, a lot is there for you to do. I also won't end without saying that when we started handling the NCDF, you know, the NCDF is a fund that has been, it was built from scratch. So you needed to accumulate it before you start disbursing it. And it was described in the law as a fund, just one sentence, no guidelines on how to use it. So again, we designed guidelines that were very tough so that this fund will be safe. And Greg Stars was one of the first companies that met the criteria, because they were quite tough criteria to get that fund. And I'm happy that in due course they have benefited and used it positively, because that fund is very important that it's used positively. So all I can say in ending my goodwill message is that I strongly believe that Stars has come to stay, and with the succession that has gone through, it will only go higher and higher. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Dr. Ernest Chu Wapa Obuago. So the feathers you see on his cap is not fashion, it's a title, a revered title amongst the Ugutas of Imo State. The very first time I met Engineer Ogbuefi, if you remember, was at his event, the very first time. So we're also celebrating memories of great partnership. So thank you, sirs. Thank you, sirs. Please give me another round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me quickly, before I continue, acknowledge the presence here of the retired Admiral O.C. Medani. He's retired as the Chief of Operations of the Nigerian Navy. Right, Admiral, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We're also joined by the President of the Nigerian Indigenous Ship Owners Association, Otumba Shola Adeomi. Otumba, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, still continuing in the line of goodwill messages. I told you earlier today that we have another ship owning company who was here, and this tells of collaboration, this tells of camaraderie. So we thank her, and we're going to listen to her now for a few minutes. The Pioneer Managing Director of FIMAC Marine and Oil Services, please welcome Madam Ifi Nwakwesi.
I'm very happy to be here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I want to give God the glory for being here today, because by yesterday, I wasn't sure I was going to be here, but it's good to have character and to have a conscience. I started thinking, I said, how could I do this to Greg, who was there for me as a medical doctor? No experience in cruise supply vessel business. The opportunity came. My husband was a civil servant at that time, but my father taught me resilience, focus, perseverance. And then I met Greg Ogbuefi in the course of doing the business. He gave me so much stress. But I came to Port Harcourt and I said I needed a shipyard to dry dock our vessels. He said, you're a woman, I'm going to support you. Greg gave us support, gave us flexible payment terms, and most of all, he was always encouraging me. And so I'm not surprised that he has placed his daughter And let me say something today. It's not about gender. I don't like this gender talk. It's about brain power. It's about capacity, competence, credibility, and impact. Let's de-emphasize the female, and all the women here, we can do it. Let's stop being in the other room. And so I'd like, on this occasion of the 40th anniversary of Stars Investment Company Limited, Greg, you know you're my client. See the way you're looking great. I'd like to profess that this company will continue to grow from heights to heights. Indigenization of shipbuilding is now. We cannot delay anymore. And of course, I'd like to congratulate my sister and my daughter, Iro Ubeforth. You're doing very well. And I'd like to tell every woman here, the sky is not the limit. Also, my son is here. He's very passionate about maritime. He has actually built a boat in Nigeria. And I think we should encourage people that are passionate about showing the way. Nigeria is blessed with immense human capital and natural resources. What are we waiting for? Please, I'd like everyone here to key in. Let's indigenize shipbuilding. We shouldn't be buying ships all the time. Thank you so much, Greg, for giving me this opportunity, and Iro. I'm so happy for this. Please, God bless everyone here. God bless.
It takes a brilliant mind to know one. It takes one with super brain power to know one. And Dr. Ifiwankwesi is one that has brilliant power and a super brain and has acknowledged the CEO of Stars Investment as the same. So please give her another round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, moving on swiftly, we will now go over to our host state of Rivers. That is also being a blessing to this company. It has provided the enabling environment, the peaceful environment, and support in more ways than one for this community, this company rather, to continue to blossom into what we're celebrating today. Representing His Excellency, the Governor of the state, please welcome the Director General of River State Investment Promotion Agency, Dr. Chamberlain Peterside, for his own goodwill.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Richmond. Good to have you back in Port Harcourt. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister. We're very happy to have you here in Port Harcourt with us. Where's Engineer Wapa? Has it gone? Okay. I see a lot of good faces. First, let me start by standing or sitting on already established protocols. Secondly, okay, there he goes. Jinawapa, welcome to Port Harcourt. It's been a while. So secondly, let me say that I'm standing here wearing different hats. First hat that I'm wearing is as a messenger to His Excellency, who is unavoidably absent. He had a very important assignment of presenting the budget for the state after a very long while, which we all know what is going on in the state. So that responsibility is right now on him to finish that. So I stand here to speak on his behalf, but I also stand here to speak as an ex-board member of STARS. And I also stand here to speak as a friend, brother, family, even father to Iro. Iro, she's not here. She's very busy. So my history with STARS go way back, at least 20 years plus. I met Engineer Greg in Washington, D.C., on the sidelines of the World Bank spring meeting, and I was very pleasantly surprised to learned that first, my uncle of blessed memory was his PA who had retired from Shell. Second, I spoke to him. We spent time being a Port Harcourt boy, and me also being in the diaspora, but haven't lived most of my life in Port Harcourt. I found immediate, I think, bond with him. But that is just side of the story. Our engagement and discussions and what STARS was doing at that point truly gave me a lot of motivation. I was highly impressed. I was very, very shocked to see that within the confines of Port Harcourt, there's a company like STARS that is doing things. But most importantly, our conversation, I believe in one way or the other, might have fired him up, because things that he thought wasn't possible from a financial standpoint and from structuring some of the transactions on vessel acquisition, I think that our conversation and our engagement began to give him that inspiration. Needless to say that Greg had since ran with the ball. And where STARS stand today is miles apart from where it was from that our initial meeting. And over the years, I had begun or started looking up to Greg as a brother, senior brother, as a mentor. Anytime I visited home, his home was like my safe refuge. He welcomed me. He began to be part of me, not just as an elder brother, but a family member, always encouraging me. But most importantly, I saw Iro finish university, and I saw her sit with us in one of the first meetings we ever had on trying to source funding. And I saw the fire in her. And Iro made a very strong impression. Now, did I imagine she would grow up to run STARS? Not quite. But as an entrepreneur, I think that she made a good impression. She called me out one day to have lunch to discuss her business plan. And I instantly made a decision to invest her in her business, which was a different kind of business, and that has grown since then. But I think fast forward, she took the challenge that her dad had presented her and ran with the ball. So I'm so happy to stand here as someone who knows the history, representing my boss, His Excellency, but also representing the investment community. I think that one of the crown jewels of private investment in Rivers State is STARS. Our job is simple: to encourage and drive private sector investment flow. And I think that STARS has done us a lot of good. We can relate to STARS. We can tell the STARS story as a successful private investment in the maritime and oil and gas sector. And I believe that it's just the beginning of many, many things to come. I think that STARS will grow from strength to strength. And God willing, if I'm invited back, I would be very, very pleased to serve on the board again. By the way, I served on the board of STARS for several years, learned a lot. So, Greg, as I call you, Man Greg, you've gave the challenge to Iro, and she's doing a wonderful job. I want to, on behalf of my boss, wish STARS many more decades. I think that STARS would be a shining star in many years to come in this industry and beyond the maritime and oil and gas sector. I wish you well, and God bless you all. Richie.
Yes, it was.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Stating it there, of the pride River State feels with STARS. Please give him another round of applause. Thank you. Before I get to the keynote address by the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, okay, first off, let me acknowledge the presence here of the Managing Director of Anton Oil Producing Company. Good morning, Mr. Ekereke. Ida. Mr. Ida, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So before I get to the minister's keynote, let me take a final goodwill in this first part of the program. And that final goodwill, I'd like to invite one for whom we have tremendous respect and admiration for her brilliance and the way she has gone about attracting investment.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. His Excellency, Sir Similaye Fubara, Governor of Rivers State, ably represented by Dr. Peter Side, the Director General of Rivers State Investment Promotion Agency, Dr. Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, ably represented by the DG of NIMASA, Dr. Dio Moberiola, Engineer Greg Ogrefu, Founder and Chair, Board of Directors, Stars Investment Company Limited. I salute you. I'm proud of you. As an investor in Nigeria and as Minister responsible for investment, you're first and foremost one of my own. You put your skin in the game. Ms. Irogama Ogrefu, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Stars Investment Company Limited, and her team. I'll say more about her later. Representatives of regulatory institutions, financial institutions, development partners. I see the Nigerian Navy looking splendid. It's good to see you. Esteemed leaders of the maritime sector, shipping, offshore energy, logistics. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here in Port Harcourt to join my brother and colleague, the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, in celebrating an institution that has spent 4 decades building Nigerian capability in a sector central to our trade and economic ambition. 40 years is a serious milestone. It is a generational milestone. In a sector as capital intensive and technically demanding as maritime and offshore logistics, it is even more significant. Today, therefore, we are not simply celebrating longevity, we are recognizing sustainability in institution building. From an entrepreneurial vision in 1986, STARS has grown to operate a fleet of 11 offshore support vessels, employ more than 200 professionals, and executed over 35 offshore marine contracts since 2010. Those figures represent Nigerian assets, Nigerian enterprise, and Nigerian jobs, and proof that our firms can build technically capability and compete in complex sectors. I'm extremely pleased to witness what Engineer Greg Ogrefu has built. And I must say, I'm particularly proud to see Ms. Irogama Ogrefu, a star mentee of mine of many, many years, and a serial entrepreneur in her own right, leading the institution into its second generation. I'm really so proud of you, Irogama. The 40 for 40 initiative, supporting 40 beneficiaries with maritime education and skills opportunity, is also a fitting reminder that enduring institutions do not only build businesses, they build people. So when you have a father like this, you build people, you build generations. This milestone comes at an important moment for African trade. In addition to Nigeria serving as co-champion for the African Continental Free Trade Area Protocol on Digital Trade, I recently assumed the chair of the AFCFTA Council of Ministers responsible for trade. Our focus is clear. The implementation must translate into practical opportunities for businesses that service over 1.4 of reaching African markets. through our expanded Rwanda Air Corridor with Uganda Air and Rwanda air cargo rates that ranged from 3 to 10 USD per kilogram on commercial routes have been brought to under $2 per kilogram. And this is what, So the air cargo corridor goes to 13 routes to market. But the real opportunity for trading across the continent obviously lies in the maritime sector. And so for STARS, the opportunity is clear. As intra-African trade grows, so will demand for stronger coastal shipping, more efficient regional corridors, and logistics systems capable of moving goods competitively across the continent. A company with 4 decades of maritime experience is already positioning deliberately for that future. I'm aware of some discussions on the West African corridor. I'm aware of interests from Angola and other Southern African regions. And I know it's just a matter of time before that fusion presents itself fully. This also speaks directly to our mandate at the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment and to the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to expand productive capability, deepen local value chains, and create the conditions for Nigerian enterprises to scale across Africa and beyond. In this regard, the wider STARS ecosystem work towards expanded indigenous ship repair capability, including a 9,000-ton lifting capacity, is significant. Nigeria needs more investment that retains value locally, develops specialized skills, and reduces dependence on services sourced outside our economy. So as STARS enters its 5th decade, my charge is simple: build with greater scale and continental ambition, invest deeper in technology and talent, and apply 40 years of Nigerian maritime experience to the opportunities now emerging across an increasingly integrated African market. So on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, I congratulate you, Engineer Griffin, Irogama, the board, the staff, all your entire STARS family, because it's not beans. 40 years of sustained business building in such a sector in particular really needs to be commended, which is why I had to be here in person today. Congratulations, and may the next chapter be even bolder. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jumoke Oduole. Thank you for the sacrifice to be here, for your kind words, and for your charge to STARS in the next 10 years. Please give her another round of applause. Thank you. Okay. So we're going to take the keynote, the minister's keynote address by His Excellency Honorable Adegboyega Oyetola, the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, and we're focusing on the federal government's roadmap for Nigeria's blue economy, highlighting the institutional value of 40-year private sector investment. As you already know, he is ably represented by the Director General of NIMASA. Please welcome Dr. Dayo Moberola.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on the well-established protocol. However, I would like to acknowledge the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, whose path and mine crossed 3 times within 24 hours. So you are welcome, ma. And also to the main celebrant of the day, Engineer Greg Ogbeifon. And I would gladly declare to everyone here that he's also my mentor. So I appreciate you. As you are all aware, I'm here to represent the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy. And for that purpose, I'll go straight to his message. First, he sends his apologies for not being able to attend today, as he had made several efforts to be here, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to. So the message is as follows. It is a great pleasure to join you today as we celebrate a remarkable milestone in the history of indigenous enterprise in Nigeria. I congratulate Stars Investments Company Limited on the occasion of its 40th anniversary and commend its leadership, management, and workforce for building an enduring institution that has made significant contributions to the development of our maritime industry over the past 4 decades. The theme of the symposium is both fitting and forward-looking. It speaks to the enduring value of resilience in enterprise and to the indispensable role of Nigerian businesses in advancing our national aspirations. The story of Stars is, in many respects, a reflection of the Nigerian spirit. Bold in vision, resilient in adversity, innovative in execution, and steadfast in the pursuit of excellence. As we celebrate this achievement, we are reminded that no action and no nation can attain sustainable maritime prosperity without a vibrant and competitive indigenous private sector. Government creates the enabling environment, but it is the enterprise, innovation, and investment of companies such as Stars that transform policy into economic opportunity, create jobs, build local capacity, and deepen national prosperity. This conviction underpins the vision of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, in establishing the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy as a strategic platform for unlocking the immense potential of Nigerian maritime domain. Our mandate is clear: to position the marine and maritime blue economy as a major driver of economic diversification, industrial growth, food security, trade competitiveness, and national development. We remain committed to expanding opportunities for indigenous compensation across the maritime value chain, whether in shipping, marine logistics, shipping management, offshore support service, shipbuilding, or marine engineering. Our objective is to ensure that Nigerian companies are not just participants, but leaders in the growth of our maritime economy. We will continue to work with relevant institutions to strengthen local capacity, encourage responsible investment, and create an environment in which indigenous business can thrive. Human capital development remains central to this vision. The future of the maritime industry will ultimately depend on the quality, competence, and innovation of our people. We are therefore placing renewed emphasis on maritime education, seafarer development, technical skill acquisition, and greater collaboration, generation of new maritime professions for Nigeria. Equally important is our commitment to maritime safety and security. The progress Nigeria has made in securing its maritime domain through the deep blue, our standing within the Gulf of Guinea. We shall continue to consolidate these gains through stronger interagency collaboration, improved surveillance capabilities, and sustained investment in maritime security infrastructure, recognizing that safe waters are fundamental to sustainable economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, as we build the blue economy, we must also ensure that development is environmentally responsible and economically inclusive. Our oceans, coastal resources, and inland waterways are national assets that must be maintained sustainably, not only for today's prosperity, but also for the benefit of future generations. This balance between economic growth and environmental stewardship will continue to guide our policies and programs. The celebration of 40 years is an opportunity to reflect on past achievements and an invitation to imagine an even greater future. Nigeria possesses every advantage required to become Africa's leading. Will require continued partnership between government and the private sector, sustained investment in infrastructure and technology, consistent policy implementation, and commitment to excellence. We see compelling evidence of what is possible when indigenous entrepreneurship is matched with vision, perseverance, and professionalism. The company's journey should inspire confidence in our collective capacity to build globally competitive Nigerian enterprises that contribute meaningfully to national development. As you celebrate this important anniversary, I encourage you to continue investing in innovation, human capital, and operational excellence, while remaining steadfast steadfast partners in our shared mission of building a modern, resilient, and globally competitive maritime sector. On behalf of the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, I congratulate the founder of STARS Investments Company Limited, Engineer Greg Ogbeifun, directors, management, and staff of the company on this remarkable milestone. May the next chapter of your journey bring even greater accomplishments, deeper national impact, and lasting contributions to the growth of Nigerian marine and blue economy. I thank you for the attention, and I wish you a successful symposium and a memorable celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, economy of Nigeria. Here are STARS at 40. Please give him another round of applause. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we would like to share with you a documentary video. However, before we do that, there is one of our most respected Nigerian leaders who is also extending well wishes to STARS at this time. We're delighted to have him share this goodwill message with us. He couldn't join us in person. Thank God for technology. We could record and play it for all to see. Technical, please let us listen to His Excellency, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, former President of Nigeria.
Industry leaders, partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to extend my warm congratulations to the board, management and staff of STARS Investments Company Limited on the occasion of the company's 40th anniversary. This remarkable milestone is a testament to 4 decades of resilience, vision, hard work, and commitment to excellence in a business environment that has often been challenging. The company has distinguished itself as a leading indigenous enterprise in Nigeria's oil and gas logistics sector. Over the years, the company has pioneered innovation in the industry and contributed significantly to local capacity building and overall national economic development in line with the vision of the founder and chairman, Engineer Greg Ogbeifun. I must particularly applaud the impact made by Engineer Ogbeifun in this regard because of how his vision has galvanized and boosted the efforts of other local entrepreneurs in the industry. I commend the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Irohama Ogbeifun, for her inspiring leadership. She has demonstrated strong dedication to excellence and a commitment to advancing Nigeria's oil and gas sector. I am impressed that many high-flying ladies like her have continued to redefine private sector leadership and drive industry entrepreneurship in many areas of the nation's economy. I vividly remember once she was honored by the Nigeria Content Development and Monetary Board in Yenagoa alongside others in May 2025 for their role in advancing the oil industry. I also congratulate the board and the entire STARS family for sustaining a legacy that has endured for 40 years. Such longevity in business is not achieved by chance. It is earned through integrity, adaptability, strategic thinking, and a strong commitment to delivering value. The theme of this year's Maritime Symposium, which focuses on how sustained private indigenous initiatives shape Nigeria's maritime future, is both timely and significant. It highlights the importance of indigenous enterprise in building a stronger, more competitive, and globally relevant maritime industry. I believe you are on the right track because the maritime sector remains a critical driver of national development, regional trade, and economic prosperity. As we celebrate this important milestone, I encourage STAR's investment to continue its tradition of innovation and leadership while inspiring the next generation of indigenous businesses to dream boldly and contribute meaningfully to national development. I wish the company continued success, greater accomplishments, and many more years of impactful service to Nigeria and the oil and gas industry. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
A president will always sign off as a president. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Anyways, before we play the documentary, if you park the Hilux bus EKY 869CX, please go and repark. And the driver for the Maritime Academy bus, please also go and repark. Thank you. Technical, tell us the story. Take us on the journey. Share with us this documentary highlighting this 40-year journey.
My dad, he came from a very humble background, came from a poor background, but he was very bright, very intelligent, very charismatic. Education for him was a ticket out of this environment that he grew up in.
In
1984, when I first moved into Port Harcourt, after returning from overseas where I trained and worked, I started my business life in Port Harcourt, and I've remained here for over 40 years. That means, if you like, I'm a Port Harcourt boy. I moved in London, and then as the early endeavors began to actualize, I rented a flat in the same estate where I live, and that flat was directly opposite my house. So that was when I engaged a secretary, and we began to work together from that flat.
One of the early things that I remember about STARS when I was extremely young, but I do recall, was I lived in an estate in a part of River State called Elelero.
It was a humble beginning when I resumed with STARS in this semi-detached apartment. I was the first secretary to the company. I used to be solely in the office.
As the business grew and I began to acquire my own marine assets, docks and barges, it became necessary for me to have a location to operate from that had the waterfront. So in 1989, Nigerian Ports Authority gave me a waterfront lease for 21 years.
So me and my brother, after school, we would my dad would pick us up, or the driver would pick us up, and we had to always, it was just like clockwork, come pick us up and then we'll head straight to daddy's office.
So you can see the metamorphosis in Port Harcourt moved from Adonero to Reclamation Road now to Onne. It'll be quite an experience.
Investment Company Limited, we're a marine logistics company. We own and operate vessels.
We have tugboats, we have security vessels, we support offshore operations majorly for IOCs. Our tugs basically support tanker lifting when they want to lift tanker. They have anchor handling operations, they work offshore. There's this close, knitted relationship that staff have, so STARS feels like family and is really just a symbol of resilience.
STARS is more than just a company to me. STARS is family to me.
This is the largest installation of solar in Liberia. So we have 480 kVA of solar power installed in there.
It's not increasing the quantity of
empties. So
why is APMT not getting some form of facility to replace the empties?
God came across to me as someone who possessed tremendous amount of knowledge about the industry. It's very difficult to qualify somebody like Greg. It's not easy. He is very hardworking and is leading by example.
He's not a man capable of being described in one word.
I remember when I first went with him to the shipyard, right there in my presence, in Onede, he changed into the blue collar uniform in my presence and jumped into the midst of what they were doing in his own shipyard.
Captain, thank you very much. Well done.
The professionalism and the discipline that is in him makes Greg a leader.
The government of Major General Muhammadu Buhari has been overthrown through a bloodless coup led by Buhari's Chief of Army Staff, Major General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, IBB, who has subsequently assumed office as Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces.
You are all aware of the circumstances which led to the change in the leadership of the government of this country, and I need not to repeat it here.
At the time I started STARS, national shipping law was still a reasonably vibrant, very military regime.
The government owned the National Shipping Line of Nigeria, NNSL, and at that time, well, initially, the company owned about 30 vessels that were plying the international route.
So at that era, we had NNSL, we had the Government Inspectorate of Shipping, we had Federal Ministry of Transportation. Obviously, it wasn't marine and blue economy. At the time,
most of the vessels had been either arrested in the international ports or they were grounded for lack of ability to maintain them and sustain them. At the time that STARS was birthed, in the 80s, mid to late 80s, there were not a lot of local players who were emerging in terms of forming companies, structured companies, where they were investing into assets ownership, right?
With the government's presence totally gone, it meant that only the foreign operators, the foreign companies, virtually held sway in the maritime economy of Nigeria at that period.
The Nigerian maritime sector wasn't as developed as it is today. Quite a lot of private people are playing in that sector today, unlike what it was at that time.
When you look at what eventually transpired, it led a whole lot of agitation to the point where cabotage trade was one of the profound conversations that happened, and persons like Engineer Greg Ogbefu also led that campaign.
Things have not always been so rosy for Stars as a business. I think one that really stands out for me, I was very young because this was like in 1994, but he wrote about it in his book as well, his autobiography.
I had to forfeit the boat and the deposit. That was how I got cleaned out. I lost everything. My boat, my money, the contract, everything. I was shattered. It was as if my whole world had ended. I was back to zero, even below zero.
When he felt like he lost everything, maybe that episode could have killed him. Maybe that episode, so for other people, would have seen them just saying, you know what, that's the end of this company. I'm just going to go. That was a trained surveyor, so he could easily continue. But I guess this was the time when he lost everything. It was a deal
that crisis resulted from the company's inability to fulfill the terms of a ship purchase agreement it had entered into with a foreign ship seller. They had paid a deposit to acquire a vessel to be owned by Stars for operation in Nigeria, and the company was supposed to have paid the balance in a few months, but unfortunately the financiers failed to perform on it, and the sellers insisted on the contract, which was to fulfill the deposit that had been paid, and that resulted in arbitration in London, which we compromised, but the deposit was lost.
Most of the things I find myself stumbling into usually from negative situation where ordinarily you give up, I think all is lost. Suddenly you find yourself moving to another level, and that's what happened in the case of the shipyard. I lost the fleet I had then, lost everything, and I was in depression. That's from my state of zero, negative, everything. I had nothing. That I saw myself thinking of establishing a shipyard, and I'm talking about something that will run into millions of dollars.
Stars started so small that it was a dream. That's how small it was. It was a dream in my father's mind. It was a dream in his heart.
When one of the international oil companies operating in Nigeria, done in the name of ELF, but today is called Total, they put out a call for tender. After a series of rigorous processes from pre-qualification to technical bids and on to commercial bids, we emerged the best technical and commercial company. We got the money, we got the contract, we gotta go.
Over the weekend, Stars Investment Company Limited made history with the commissioning of Nigeria's first indigenous cabotage compliant service, christened MV Osayami.
Nigeria sets to receive first fully indigenous vessel. It was an unprecedented time of pomp and pageantry as Nigerian tugboat Osayami was transported along the streets of Cape Town for commissioning.
Capable of towing, line handling, escorting, firefighting, and pollution control. All this powered by 2 Caterpillar engines, delivering a staggering 5,600 brake horsepower to 2 Rolls-Royce Azimuth thrusters.
In many respects, the transaction is unique. Unique in the sense that we are the first indigenous company to have this type of contract.
The growth and evolution of Stars was based primarily on the decision to move from chartering third-party tonnage into ownership. And as soon as that...
So what Stars did for us in the industry was to say, or is to say, that there are Nigerians who can do it honorably.
Envious, is symbolic. It's almost like, when they say it's like a woman's womb was built by Damen shipyards of South Africa and commissioned in 2009. It was a 90-ton tug, brand new, very versatile. In the maritime, and was able to operate successfully.
She was the first. What that means is fully owned by Stars Nigerian company, fully manned by Stars crew, all Nigerians. I think that was a major win for us, and I think that's what got us into the IOC space.
It has meant a lot. That's the mother of all other vessels that are operating under the Stars fleet.
Osayame was performing very well. Even operations that DP vessels cannot do, Osayame will do it perfectly and come out.
There are challenges along below, one, and then it becomes, slightly easier.
That was used to train Nigerian seafarers. At the time we had about 29 ships, each ship carrying approximately 40 people at a time. That was a big platform. So today you find that children coming out of the few maritime institutions we have in country, like the Maritime Academy or after they leave school, they have nowhere to go to. We still have a few private initiatives, such as Stars, where we have a very robust training program for cadets who eventually turn into seafarers, because we need them even to operate our ships.
Produced over 100 cadets, and Stars were trained to give back to the industry, because we know that is the only way that we sustain the maritime industry. 70% of our workforce was seafarers. We have male and female seafarers on board. We train both male and female cadets as well. Largely mean family management, but just sustain the momentum we have right now. And as we